life and no TV. Millionaires stay greedy. No love and there's no grub. We got the homeless saying, y'all better come my way. Y'all better come my way. Okay, and say, y'all better come my way.
All right, and we are back on JAMPACKED. Now, we have quite a special treat, y'all. She is a Reiki Master, an energy healer, a meditation guide, and the founder of the Sunshine Project, a kids meditation and wellness app promoting conscious parenting for minority families. And her app provides this amazingness for the following ages 5 and under, which is the sunrise group. And then you've got the 6 years old to 11 years old, the solar noon group. And then 11 years old to 13 years old, the sunset group. And then just in case you didn't think that was dope enough, she is also the founder of the Healing Gardens. She has developed a safe space for mental and spiritual healing for marginalized people and families, providing energy healing, guided meditation bundles, and helping you release those toxic energies from your life. And she's got bundles you can get to help you from the self-love bundle, abundance manifest bundle, and the postpartum bundle. And services range from skincare treatments to energy healing. Folks, she is so dope. She is coming to us from Jacksonville, Florida. I bring to y'all Andrea Pressley. Woo!
Thank you. That's a beautiful introduction. I feel like I'm definitely I'm gonna take a snippet of that and then send it to my mother.
Yeah, let's do it. I love it. I love it. This is so amazing. Like, first of all, like for folks that don't know, and earlier in my Jam Talk segment, I talk about Clubhouse, and that's actually how we met. You were speaking about your app, and I was like, that sounds amazing. I need to hit her up right now. And as you were speaking and like sharing your about what your app was, it reminded me of, and I know you've spoken about this before, but the kids that were doing meditation and yoga in schools in San Francisco in the Bay Area, and how they had started that. They tried that with those group of kids. They called them like the, troubled kids or whatever the case was, but they found that it really helped them, progress and do better and evolve. And I always thought that was dope to have kids do meditation and yoga anyway. And it's a very rare thing that you actually hear about kids doing meditation and yoga. I have a friend who like makes her kids do yoga, and I'm like, this is so rare, especially in the Black community, your story, like of how it was created, it was so dope. In the Sunshine Project, I know, I'm sorry, I'm so excited. I'm doing a lot of talking right now, and I'm because I've got so many questions. I've got so many questions.
It's okay. I love it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And before I get into my actual question, your drink of choice was white wine. Yes. So we've got some white wine. She's got in the koozie, keeping it cold, keeping it nice and chill. I got some French wine, some white French wine on deck. So this might it's just very strong. So it might hit me. Yeah. Oh yeah. If you go to Trader Joe's, French wine is super cheap.
Yeah.
Super cheap. Yeah. Yeah.
I like there's one, I think it's called bread and butter or something like that. It's a dessert wine. That one plus some chocolate cake from a local bakery here.
Ooh.
I don't need to leave the house.
Yeah. See, okay, so folks, I tried to send her a bottle of white wine, and she's like,
don't tell them.
I've got
that's wine.
I'm good. I got my stash.
I do. Every parent out there knows. They know. Yeah. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, then now you know.
We have to have wine. We have wine for days here. I've got white wine and red wine. My white wine stash needs to be a little updated though. I need some more white wine after this. But yeah, so I'm excited. You got some white wine. I mean, the time difference is very interesting right now. So only for you will I be drinking at 1:00 in the afternoon in LA.
It's not even 5 o'clock here, but we're gonna ignore that part. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. We all, it's a part of the mindfulness, right? All a part of the mindfulness.
Yes, exactly.
Now, you created, like I said, one of the dopest apps I've ever heard of.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
the Sunshine Project, and it stemmed from your 4-year-old daughter, Parker. When she was 3 years old, she was, a bit rambunctious and a ball of fun, and she was actually accepted into a prestigious accelerated program at 3 years old, and was able to get into class with other kindergarteners, which is the only one in your city. And it was a really big deal that she got in, and the educational piece, she was great, but it was the mental and emotional piece, um that she wasn't quite there yet. There were issues that started to occur, and you kept having to leave work to go to school, uh, and there were issues, and you kept having to leave work, and other things going on in the household, causing those stressors. And as a first time mom, you didn't realize that kids, also get stressed, and they have anxiety, and they get depressed. And it came to a point where you had to either she had to either fix her behavior at the time, or she was going to get let go from the school. And then you realized that meditation would be a great way for her, after you had tried your hand at it, with yoga. How was that first time of trying to introduce her to doing it, and being
Um,
consistent in it?
so, well, first, I didn't immediately start her off in meditation. It wasn't like, okay, let's sit down and be still. That's very difficult for children, especially for her age group. That's the 5 and under group. It's difficult for them, especially if they don't know what's going on. You have to kind of make it fun for them. So the first thing that I actually taught her was not meditation. It was actually breath work, which is a piece of it, but it's the foundation. That's what I call it. I call breath is the foundation of meditation. Okay, so teaching her that piece was actually very, very easy. And that's kind of that's the first thing that people will learn when they download my app. It's the very first thing. You have to do that part first before you go any further into anything else. It doesn't matter why you're on the app, you have to do that part first because you need that to do anything else. And so teaching her that baseline type of thing before we got to the building blocks was pivotal as far as her actual development and things like that. But the first time was very interesting. I just told her, hey, wanted to try something new with you. I do speak to her like she's an adult, in the way that, there's no baby talk or anything like that. We are clear communication, and, very direct. I get down to her level and eye to eye. And so, we just discussed it. I said, hey, I think maybe we should try something like a different approach to what we have going on here in school. And I said, I think if I teach you this thing, then maybe you promise me that you'll try it the next time that you feel afraid, or the next time that you feel big emotions. Because sometimes they can't like put their finger on the thing that they're feeling because they're still trying to wrap their head around what that actually means for them. They don't even have a full grasp on the English language yet. So for them to try to explain to you that they're frustrated, that they're scared, that they're angry, that they're sad, all these, that's too much. So breath it's just so easy because we do it naturally as humans, but it's intentional breathing is what I'm teaching her, or what I taught her then. Because now Parker, if she was here, she could come on here and then lead a breath work session for all of us. Actually, she's amazing. But just teaching her that part was really the first step there. And she really she grasped it very quickly. And then we moved on to actual meditation, probably a week later, after trying that deep and slower breathing throughout the day, kind of. And then the first meditation was fairly easy, but it's because she's my daughter, so I know her, so all I have to do is I do guided meditation. So it's not just it's not meditation in the way that you would just sit and not do anything. Your mind is actually being guided by my voice. And so for her, I imagine that as her mother, right, and her being my daughter, it was easier for her to listen to mom tell me, okay, just now imagine this thing. Okay, now imagine this thing. All right. Ooh, I see it. And, and I'm giving her the options. Thanks to the training that I have in actually being a guide, giving her options to choose the color of the candy colored grass that's in her imagination as she has her her eyes closed, but she's creating this on her world. And so by doing those things, I've now created a safe space for her within herself. And so it gives her the ability to be vulnerable with me, to be vulnerable with herself and with her emotions. It's really important, and it's just very beautiful.
I love that. That's so cool. And I want to add to for folks that are listening or watching, um, that you also have Black men, and you'll also have Spanish teaching available on the app as well.
Yes, later on down the line, I plan on integrating Spanish speaking people who are also within the meditation industry. It's very important to me. This is an app for people with multicultural backgrounds. This is the minority families app. It's not that other people can't come, but we are centering minority families here. So definitely, I want the children to hear somebody that might sound like their dad, or hear someone that might sound like their mother or their grandmother. These are important things. I don't know if you've ever tried guided meditation or if you've ever done meditation, but what I do hear is feedback, which is how I'm able to run a successful business here. Being a Black woman and serving Black people is because they will look up meditation, and even, the bigger apps and things like that. There's not a lot of Black or brown people on there leading those meditations. So would it be easier for you to hear from a woman that maybe is British, or would it be easier for you to hear from someone that sounds like your sister? There's a warmth to that. There's several studies done on this too. So it's the voice and sound is a really big thing. And then when you bring in sound healing and different things like that, and other healing modalities that focus around the actual person that is in company with you. And I think that speaks also to Black Girls in Therapy, which is a really huge platform right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't a few years ago. But when people caught on to what she was saying, it actually is beneficial for you to have someone that understands your point of view, who can really understand what you've gone through. And not just, have sympathy for you feeling bad, but also empathize with you and understand, actually emotionally, internally understand what's going on with you. It really does make a difference. So that's really why I chose to serve minority parents. I know that's not what you asked me, but I'm going in that direction.
No, I love that. I love that because it's so needed, and the Black community, especially, Black mental health is so serious, and underserved. And and you brought up a good point. I mean, you had a lot of good points, so I'm going to try to go to each point as I as I remember them. But with Black mental health and therapy for Black girls, I looked for my therapist through their website. I know it's also a podcast, but I love that they have that available to find a therapist that you can connect with and that is in your area. A lot of the times we feel like, oh, this is not for us, or this is not available to us, but here it is.
Yeah.
Here is all of the dots. You need to connect them because we can't do it for you, but here it is.
It's
When you're
amazing
ready, when you're ready to look for it, when you're ready for the help, it's right here. And I've had a white therapist, and I have now a Black therapist. Right. Exactly.
Right.
And now I have a Black therapist, but in addition to that, I feel like I can really connect to her even more because she's LGBTQ plus, affiliated. Like, I feel comfortable speaking with her. I feel like I see myself when I speak with her. I maybe a more mature, responsible, maybe a better human being, but like
me still.
yeah, exactly. Like the type that I would like to aspire to be one day, but it's good to be able to see someone of the same melanin, that you can really speak with, that internalizes and understands where you're coming from without having to say, okay, well, how is it for Black people? You know,
Like
like,
you gotta PC this thing through therapy, which is something
yeah,
that makes me so vulnerable. But you feel like you can't be real. I didn't notice it either until I got a Black therapist. So I agree with you.
yeah,
Some of my very first
yeah,
therapists were white women, and they were, you know, they were doing the best that they could, but they couldn't understand me.
yeah. And I was like, oh, you know, I feel like they're doing okay, but I just still wasn't feeling what I needed, you know?
Mhm.
And then I kind of took a break from it and I was like, let me try to look for a real therapist, a Black therapist. And, you know, and it's about finding someone you really feel comfortable and safe with to be vulnerable in that space. And that's the same thing with what you're doing. People still have to feel vulnerable in doing the guided meditation, like just to close your eyes and have someone say, okay, imagine this, imagine that.
Mhm.
That's a sense of vulnerability. How
Yeah.
do you get the kids to, you know, I know it was a little bit easier because it's your daughter, but with other kids, you know, and some of these kids out here, you know, they've got their own creative mind and, you
Mhm.
know, ADD. Like I've got a couple of brothers that had
6.1
ADD.
million.
Yeah. And how do you almost, in a sense, get their trust, their, you know, for them to be vulnerable in that space, especially via app?
Hmm. That's a really good question. I actually think that children are more trusting than adults, right? So I already teach adults. So in a way, I kind of have the cheat code on that a little bit.
Hmm.
But you are right. Having it through an app is a bit of a barrier. The adults that I teach, they're very much in person, so they get to see me. They know that I'm a real person. They know me, right? Even if you just
Hmm.
meet me for the first time, I'd like to say that my energy and just being around me, it's a warm feeling, right?
Hmm.
So really trying to bring in that warmth through something so cold like a piece of technology was one of the barriers that I experienced in actually creating the content. So the different videos and things that go along with the meditations. So
Hmm.
before, and I do this with anybody, before we begin a meditation, we're not just going to just, okay, close your eyes. It doesn't work like that. There's a moment, you know, just before the meditations, and this is for each and every one of them that is on the app currently. You are going to be led in very gently. I'm going to make sure that you're comfortable. I'm gonna tell you, okay, now's the time. What is it that you know, what's gonna make you comfortable today? Is it that you're sitting upright, or is it that you're laying down? Is it that you have your favorite stuffed animal, or is it giving them options too? Children are very independent. They love to be independent, but we have to allow them to do that. So really, it's fostering the independence and kind of getting them to trust me in the way of, I guess, allowing them to have the independence. It gives them a way to say, you know what, this lady might be pretty cool. She's gonna let me hold on to my bear today. All right, cool. All right, I might do this, you know? And then that second step is like once they're actually in the meditation, especially for, I guess we'll speak to the 5 and under group because the rest of them, they have their own limitations. It's a little bit easier because they're already older. So they know, okay, okay, this is a place I'm supposed to sit down, right? I at least know that meditation is semi-quiet, I guess. They may have those, you know, that background knowledge. But for the younger ones, really involving their hands and just different things that they can do and move throughout the meditation, like maybe putting your hand over your heart and actually feeling your heartbeat. That's something. So you're bringing awareness to the way that they're feeling in the moment. And but you're also giving their mind something to focus on. So now they can stay connected for that 5 minutes because they're not doing more than 5 minutes. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But getting them to stay connected is all about, it's about tone. There's sound healing in each and every one of my meditations. You might not notice it straight off the back, but there's a back track. There's tracks laid over tracks over tracks. I know because I made them. They are laced with all these different things, but you are going to relax no matter what your age. But it is for the younger kids about getting them to participate in ways like that, you know, so that's the way
I
to
love that.
kind of get them to get to that trusting space and actually doing the activity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also taught kindergarten for 3 months. So again, another cheat code. It was only 3 months, but I learned a lot. Very interesting time of my life.
Wow. Okay. I'm like, ooh, do we need a part two with that part with the
Don't want to hear about that. No.
I
Woo.
mean, like we speak about the breath control, the breathing, and we breathe differently depending on our mood and our reactions.
Mhm,
You talk about breathing with intention.
mhm.
What is the importance of breathing with intention, and how can we catch ourselves in a moment to bring bring and to correct it, into the present?
Oh, perfect question. Okay, so intentional breathing. I actually just talked to somebody about this the other day, but I tell my clients this all the time, and even especially my energy healing clients. So, whew, like I just took that breath right now.
Right?
So, have you ever been in a moment of frustration? Maybe you're at work, maybe you're in the car, you're somewhere doing something, and somebody has either pissed you off or you're aggravated. Something's happening, and then you just go. You ever
Yeah.
had that happen?
Yeah.
That is breath. But was that intentional? Probably not. Were you actually gaining anything from that? Yeah, you were, because your body immediately did that. You didn't decide, oh, let me take this huge huff. Your body said, you know what, you actually need to calm yourself down. You need to calm
Yeah.
down right now. And so then you take this frustrated breath. But the difference between that and saying, okay, you know what, I can feel myself building up in this moment. Let me pause. Okay, let me take a breath. That slow, deep breath, that's going to get you to a calmer state a lot faster.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can imagine that. it's, a, it's a different thing. And the energy between those two things are very different, right? This one
Yeah.
is more compassion with yourself, love, ease, gentleness, flow, right? This one is like, I'm very upset right now. This is all I can do. And you're probably not even really in the headspace to where you can really, really calm down. You might still be upset, but your body is just taking that to make sure, like your blood pressure doesn't skyrocket. It's so funny how like scientific these things are. I just love it. But
Yeah.
so that's what I mean when I say intentional breathing, really stopping. So for in I guess in the case of the kids meditation app, something that I teach all parents, and this one's going to be a freebie. I will sing the praises of this particular activity till the
Okay.
day that I'm out of here. Okay, but I call it the pause and breathe, and I use this with my daughter. I use this with myself. My daughter uses this on me. So you take that how you want. I'm not perfect. We'll be in the middle of something. She'll be like, "Mom, you need to pause and breathe." Like, you're right. Okay, but
Mhm.
so the pause and breathe method is exactly what it sounds like. Before you get to the moment of crazy, and when you're getting to the moment of crazy, specifically
Yeah.
with children, right? I was telling somebody the other day, it's like a hill, right? So you're kind of like, you start here, you go
Mhm.
up, right around here before you get all the way to the top of this hill is when you need to take that pause. When it's coming, when your kid's about to trip on you. If you've been a parent for even one day,
Yes.
maybe 1 week, we're going to say 1 week,
Yeah.
you already know. That could even be like baby babies,
Yeah.
when they're going to trip on you because they're either hungry, they're wet. It's very simplistic. And honestly, think about yourself as an adult. When you get like really aggravated, what's probably wrong with you? What's probably the root? It's usually that you're
Yeah.
tired, like, right? Overworking. Maybe you need to sit down somewhere. You haven't relaxed in a while. Maybe you need a nap, or you're hungry. You're thirsty. When was the last time you had some water?
Yeah.
Do you need a biscuit? That's me. I ask people that all the time. Are
Yeah.
you hungry? Because I will give you an apple right now. So from that perspective though, so climbing up that hill just before you get to Crazy Town, there are some indicators that we're about to go to Crazy Town. So at that point, I just say to the parent, this is the moment for pause and breathe, but it's also the moment to kind of like analyze what's going on, right? So
Mhm.
for me, I know that whining for my daughter, she starts, well, I just want blah, 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 whatever it is that she's asking for. It doesn't really matter because that's actually not what she wants. It has nothing to do with that. She's either tired or hungry. That's usually it. Sometimes it is that thing, but the probability of that is low. It's usually the other two things. But the point is that the pause and breathe method works this way. So she begins to do this thing. I'm probably, most of the time I'm going to say we're probably ignoring the kid. It's not on purpose. It's just that we're doing other things, right? Maybe you're in the kitchen cooking. Maybe you're, I don't know, working because we're all working from home, whatever it is that you're doing, stop yourself, pause the moment. Okay, hey, do you need my attention right now? Let me give that to you. And then while I give that attention to you, let's both sit down. We're going to stop everything we're doing. We're turning off the TV. We're turning off music. There's no distractions. We're going to sit and take an intentional breath together. And I know that sounds like, it actually doesn't sound like a lot, but for some people, they put barriers in places, right? So another example would be that you're in the middle of Target. I'm not sitting down on the floor in the middle of Target. I'm going to have a parent say that to me. Me either. I'm also not sitting on the floor in Target. But what I will do is stop the buggy and look at my daughter and not let her cry and continue to do all the things that I'm doing while she's obviously frustrated. So it's really giving them the attention that they need in the moment that they need it, which can be difficult as parents, because you kind of feel like, well, they can wait, or they're the kid, I'm the parent. It's all these different thoughts, which is why conscious parenting is a big piece of this app, because it teaches the parent that the child is an individual, but they're also, they're a human, just like you're a human. And so treating them with respect, it's kind of like that ism of, especially from Black families, that a child should be seen and not heard. I don't agree with that at all, because you should listen to them. And when you do, then there's less breakdowns in the middle of Target.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the pause and breathe. You're literally just stopping what you're doing in the moment. You're recognizing that there's a need. It could be also a need from you too, for the parent, because I have moments too, where I'm just like, hey, listen, mommy needs a moment. Like I need a serious moment. I love you so much right now, but I need you to go sit down.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I usually with my wife and myself, we'll say, okay, I just need a beat. Can you give me a beat? Just it's no harm. I just no beat.
I love you.
I just need a beat. Right. It's like, I love you with all my heart. I just need a hot beat. But I think oftentimes, because I tend to be very, well, let me just fix it. Let me make it better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like having to say, okay, Jamila,
relax for a minute.
Relax for a minute, take some breaths, take a step back. But I think it also, a lot of those things, kids can use it, adults can use it. For me, when I get upset, I'm just like, okay, well, why am I upset? I think that's and it's those mindful moments of, why am I upset? What is it in this moment that is pissing me off?
Mm-hmm.
And when you say the heel, when you were talking about the heel, that it was very interesting, because I feel like it's not until the top of that heel that I'm like, why am I mad right now? But at this point, I'm just like, oh, I need to go talk to my boxing trainer. I need to go work out. I need to go run.
So what that speaks to is knowing your triggers, right? Because I said that first. I know my daughter's triggers. I'm still even learning mine. But as you being you, right? It's kind of like, what does my face look like if we didn't have mirrors? I guess that's a horrible analogy, but you understand what I mean. You think you know you, but you're not the person interacting with you. Everyone else is interacting with you, right? So I know my daughter's triggers because I see her all the time. I'm the one that I have to deal with you all the time. I know exactly what it looks like when you're about to go ham on me. But me, I have to figure out, okay, maybe, maybe no conversations about this specific thing after this specific time. And that's not even on kids. That's just me as an adult person. I found out years ago, no tequila in general ever.
Okay.
At all. So but you do, I feel like as you explore yourself more, you'll figure out what those things are, because then you can just backtrack down the hill. You can say, okay, you know what? I actually was really pissed off the other day. I don't know what happened. So that you can kind of, okay, what was I doing? I was driving, okay? And then this, okay? And then you stop and you say, all right, what was that thing that pissed me off? Like what triggered it to go even further up the hill? Because oftentimes it's not like you just immediately get mad. It's a buildup.
Yeah.
So what caused the buildup? Right?
That's true. Now, do you think it's also almost a sense of boundaries, like having boundaries of, I'm not going to allow this to get to this point?
I think so. I definitely try. One thing though that I will say, especially for any parents that are going to be that are out there listening to this now, um, you can't control. You can only control you, right? You can try your best to control the situation. You can try your best to do pause and breathe, but everything takes work. Everything takes practice. We still have blow ups. We have fewer of them because we are intentional about how we're handling it. But you're giving it your best shot, and you're probably doing great, so that's good. But as far as the boundaries, I think it does have something to do with that. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Nice. Okay. Oh, I mean, before we get into this game,
Okay.
what does mindfulness mean to you?
To me, oh, it's a lifesaver, I think. But
Yeah.
to me, it means being fully present in the moment, um, and feeling gratitude. And it could be as simple as, your breath and you being alive. But like right now, an example, I'm grateful that I have a Christmas tree and it smells like pine tree. Like it smells like that, that like the fake Febreze pine spray.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a real tree. I'm grateful for that smell right now. It smells amazing. So that's like, for me, that's what mindfulness is. It's living in the present and taking it all in, taking like really for real living life. I think that's where life happens, in the present. But so many people are, they're in the future, or they're in the past, and they're not quite here. So
That's beautiful right there. I like
yeah.
that.
I've got gratitude for you for having me on
Yeah.
the show, and we're in the present. We're having a good time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just over here just wanting to snap. I'm just like, yes. Yes. Talk that
Okay.
talk.
The open mic night, Def's
Yeah.
poetry
Listen,
slam.
let me know when you're doing that open mic night on Clubhouse. I'll be there.
Oh, we'll
What do
talk
you
off
think
air.
of Clubhouse?
I actually, okay, so I have some, I'm not gonna say mixed feelings, but I definitely have 2 or 3 things to say. I'll keep it brief though. The first thing is that I think it's a beautiful place for people to connect um, with intention. I think the second thing that I'll say about it is that um, if you were not aware, if you didn't know anything about energy and how things can drain you, you're gonna learn today on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And then
That's so true.
right?
Wow.
And then the third
Yeah.
thing is but it's something I guess I already knew, but I do feel this way about Clubhouse is you give what you get. So I approach
Yeah.
things with love and compassion as best I can. I really try, like every single day of my life. So long as I take that, then I don't have any problems. But
Yeah.
you don't want 0 problems, big homie. that's me. I was like, let me quickly exit. I am a
Yeah.
meditation guy, but I will leave this room. That's me.
Yeah. Okay. That's when that Detroit come out. That's
Yeah, a
when
little bit. I was like, all right, did you just? All right, okay, cool. All right, well, I'm gonna go. Have a great day.
It gets very interesting on Clubhouse, and I'm grateful that I found you on Clubhouse, met you on Clubhouse, and then, they give you an option to find your Instagram and then connect with you there.
Yeah.
But, it is a very interesting space. Still trying to learn to maneuver, but feeling grateful for the networking, and really, like you said, what you make of it, space of it.
Yeah.
But
A lot of
it's,
connection.
yeah,
It's beautiful.
I've met some folks that are like, oh wow, like you're doing some really cool stuff. But it's interesting because there's a lot of like tech and app folks there too.
Well, but I think it's because their friends built the app, so then they kind of they hopped
Mm,
on it, and then there you go, and then it just kind of it's like kind of not spiraling, but it's snowballing a bit. I almost wonder what this app will look like when more people are on it. There's definitely been a lot of conversations about that. I think that I appreciated it for the fact that there were not a lot of people on the app when I joined. And I guess from that perspective, when you start thinking about, the smaller rooms versus the really, really large ones, where it's like, what's the purpose of you being here if you're not actually conversing? It's like, yeah, okay, if they're saying actually, actual valuable information, but a lot of the larger rooms, if you've noticed, center around negativity. Not all of them, but a lot of them that I've seen. Some of the bigger rooms that I have been in that have actually been helpful are the ones that are like kind of teaching you something, venture capitalism, something like along the lines of that, build your app with no code and just things that are interesting to me. But I guess some people could also find the other things interesting. It just really just depends on the person.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And I was thinking the same exact thing, as far as I'm very nervous when they open it up to more folks. You
It's
already
almost
have
like
your regular trolls on
mm,
Instagram. Imagine if those same trolls get
they have been.
Clubhouse.
I'm sure you've heard the story. I don't
Yeah.
feel like we should give any power to that name. I feel like we should leave it where it's at. But this is your show. But no, seriously, I'm like really big on energy. I don't even want to bring that in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You are we here.
We hear. No, I'm really big on energy as well. And oftentimes I almost feel like I'm the one that feels it or senses it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of am portrayed as the crazy person, because I sense the energy, what they're, and I don't know if it's, being, maybe slightly connected, with the other side or whatever the case is, but energy is really huge for me. And
Mm-hmm.
if your energy feels somewhat shifty, I don't want any part in it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I completely understand what you're saying about that.
Mm-hmm. It's honestly, everybody is tapped into energy. That's why we navigate and flow to the people and things that we do, right? Like how people talk about frequency and vibration. People always saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's really like super woo woo, blah blah blah." I'm like, but it's really not though. It's actually quite scientific
Yeah.
if you really
Yeah.
think about it. But people, they don't. People don't read. It's awful.
Yeah.
America is so fantastic a lot of the times in that way, but people don't read. And so there's that, but would be very, very quick to say, oh no, good vibes, good vibes. It's like, vibes mean what? What are vibes? Oh, they're vibrations? Oh, you mean like the frequencies like I was just telling you about? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, those
Yeah.
things. Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah, because they keep kind of, I don't want to say dumbing it down, but they keep changing the translation of it, and it
Yeah.
almost gets lost in translation, rather than it's a frequency. It's
Yeah.
what frequency are you on, and are we vibrating on the same frequency
Right.
to do something
Together. I think
together
that, and
that's
I don't think it's horrible that it's done like that they dumb it down, because I don't even know if dumb it down is right. Like I maybe
yeah, I don't know if dumbing it down is the right term, but it's like it just gets lost
it's like
almost.
they do things in pop culture, right? That then turn, because that's where they get good vibes from. They're not necessarily, but those people who are saying that in pop culture got it from their local energy healer or whatever. That's who they got it from, and then now you're saying it, but then you're I guess invalidating the other person. It's just a really interesting cycle the way that things works.
Yeah.
But I think that definitely watered down is a good way to say that, because it's like, okay, here you can understand it from this perspective, but it's like all this other stuff. But so that you don't get overwhelmed, let me give it to you in this very bite-sized package. But also while I'm at it, let me slap it on a t-shirt and a purse, and then you can have that too, but be totally unaware of what it is that you're participating in, because you're already doing it whether you know it or not. It's kind of like
Mhm.
capitalism, right? We're all
Yeah.
participating. We don't want to be, but here we are. And so it's very it's very interesting the way it goes. My second job is I'm a comedian. I'm just kidding. I'm not.
I love it. You should do comedy. You should just show
You
up
know
in
what
some
I'm
yoga
saying?
pants and be like, "I'm here. Let's do
I
this." Like,
can't. I can't. First of all, I wouldn't know yoga pants. I would be like, never mind. Another off-air conversation. Uh, but I have a lot of people tell me that's actually quite funny. But I don't think I could. I think I'm funny in like conversationally. I don't think that I'm funny. Like, make me laugh.
Yeah,
But,
no, yeah, I'm definitely not a.
but
I
the
tried my hand
energy
at stand
thing,
up comedy. That was not good.
the energy thing is so real. And people they either understand it or they don't. But then people also blame other outside forces and situations for their own situation, when really all you have to do is just change the way, like, even, you know how people say change the way you change your perspective, you change your life. But
Mhm.
that's the reason they say that, because when you
Yeah.
start thinking a different way, you immediately move to a higher frequency. Well, it depends on what you're thinking, but if you want to go up higher, then just think higher, meditate on that.
That was spot on to say watered down, because I feel like that's the perfect verbiage for that. Watered down in this hot topic fashioned way. It's just, but at the same time, you lose the flavor when it's so
Mhm.
watered down.
Yep.
You lose the essence
Actual
of
mess.
the bite.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If they want to eat 99-cent potato chips, let them. That's where I'm at.
Yes, I love it. On
Okay.
that note, we gonna start story time,
Okay,
because I
story
could just sit here and talk all day. I've got so many more questions for you.
Okay.
So story time. We're gonna play some story time. Story time. I've already explained the rules to you.
Yes.
So I will let you start it off with A. For
Okay.
Andrea. So we're gonna start a story. We've decided to have an adult story. We don't
Mhm.
know where that story is gonna go. And the
Right.
drink of choice is white wine. So if you cannot come up with a word for that letter, you got to drink, and then it's the next person's turn.
Okay. I'll go first. Okay.
While I refill my
Alexandria.
glass.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna refill my glass just in case I have to drink for not knowing the
Wow.
word.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Amber.
Bit.
Cookies.
Okay, yeah, I'm a drink.
Do I have to fill in the D?
Hmm. Let me write this down. This is already sounding amazing. Amber bit cookies.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Ooh, I was about to be so Detroit right there. Daring everyone. So is it your turn now?
Oh, okay. I see what you did. Yeah, that's all good.
Okay.
Everyone forever. Amber
Going,
bit cookies daring everyone forever.
going.
Hiking.
In,
Joggers.
khakis,
Oh, okay, I'm a drink.
leveraging more,
Ooh. Nutrition.
only,
People.
questioned,
Results.
seemingly. Don't
That
lose.
felt like a drink, but that's all good. No. You got it. You said seemingly. Okay, I'm gonna take a drink too. I'm gonna take a drink. So right now we're at Amber Bit cookies, daring everyone forever, joining hiking, going hiking in joggers, khakis, leveraging more nutrition, only people question, results seemingly.
Transfixed upon,
Ooh. Voraciously.
How does that make sense? Transfixed upon voraciously wanting.
Yellow.
Wait, you have X.
Wait. Did I? There I go, messing up the alphabet again. Listen, we all don't know how I got a BA. I'm going to drink up for messing that up. Woo. That was amazing. Okay, let's see. Right now we're at Amber Bit Cookies daring everyone forever going hiking in jogger khakis, leveraging more nutrition only people question results seemingly transfixed upon voraciously wanting
XX tension.
Extación.
I gotta know what they're listening to. I have to know what the kids are listening to.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, that's my final answer.
That's your final answer?
Mm-hmm.
Extación. Extación. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how to spell the names.
So we can make it make sense at the end. Go ahead. Extación, yellow zippers.
Yellow zippers.
Yeah.
Yellow zippers. I love it. Yes. I'm just yeah.
Why was he on a hike with Amber?
I don't know. But it was a beautiful story. It was Amber Bit Cookies daring everyone forever going hiking in joggers and jogger khakis. Leveraging more nutrition, only people question results seemingly transfixed upon voraciously wanting Extación yellow zippers.
So maybe he manufactured some jackets. Who can say?
He made the jackets. That was perfect. I love that. That was amazing.
Oh my God.
That was perfect. That was so perfect. And I almost want to know more about that story.
So what happened next, Amber?
I know, right? What happened next? To be continued.
Right? Your character. Survivor.
Now, for your app, you're still looking for beta testers.
Yes.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking for in a beta tester? Can someone without kids still participate? And yeah, what does the beta stage really mean for folks that aren't necessarily totally
Absolutely
know of what
about all the app and tech talk?
I know a little bit because I used to work at an app company like eons ago, but you know.
Well, first of all, I guess I'll answer your first question, what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. Minority parents with children 2 to 13 years old. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Just fit in there. That's willing to try the app. Like you gotta actually, try it.
Actually try it. Actually do it. Have the time to try it and to do it.
Right. It actually doesn't take that long, but I mean, people put barriers if they don't want to do it. So there's that. But from the perspective of what is, I guess, included in being a beta tester. So really it's a 2-part thing for why we're having you come on. One, my backers and all the people from that are supporting me in this actually care about, which is, can we crash this app and how many people can get on this thing? That's what they care about, right? And like fixing bugs and customer support and all that. The second thing, which is most important to me, is what do you guys want from me? I want to make sure that I'm building something that is valuable and actually helpful to parents. I am not trying to build the Andrea and Parker show. I am not trying to build something just for single mothers. I'm trying to build something that is actually valuable and helpful to minority families. And so what that takes is people actually trying the app, and actually giving me feedback like, hey, love this, didn't like this, or love this, maybe we can add this too, and giving me ideas like that so that I can actually create something that is for us, right? Fubu, come on now, help me out here.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, really need that feedback. I want to know what you think, and how your child reacted to it. If it was actually helpful, how was it helpful? And how are you utilizing it in your everyday life? And the process for that is right now we have a link on our Instagram account. So you just go there and you just sign up to be a beta tester. It's a super, super quick and simple form. You're literally just saying your name, how many children you have, what are their age groups, and you are consenting to actually just participating as a beta tester. That's it. When we actually roll out the second iteration of the app, meaning you'll actually be able to go to the App Store, download it, sign in, all the other stuff, you'll get an email, you'll have a code, there's a whole situation happening, but you will be notified. That will be end of January, beginning of February at the latest. So that's it.
I love it. Now, for folks that are listening, if they maybe want to invest, are you still looking for investors, or if people want to be a part of it, how can they reach out?
So on that same link on the profile, there is a section for crowdfunding and donations. That is the way to give to us if you wanted to help to actually push this thing forward. As far as angel investors and things like that, the better way to do that would be to get in direct contact with me, which would be through, you could do the Instagram app where you can DM me, or you can go on the link tree and use that to get to me as far as emailing and things like that. So, but the email is actually really simple. It's just info@thesunshineprojects.club. So
cool. And I'll also have, if you're driving and cruising and you don't have a piece of paper, just all of this information of how to get in touch with Andrea, it'll be in the show notes. So whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this in your car, sitting in traffic, this will be in the show notes. So it'll be there. Just get to your destination safely, or, but all of the information will be in the show notes if you want to get in touch. Now, for folks that maybe use CBD or weed or a glass of wine to help to decompress, what are some other ways that can help center folks, help keep them centered and balanced and decompress?
Absolutely. So, well, first of all, shameless plug.
Yeah, do it.
Right? Shameless plug. I do have meditation bundles where you can actually download my meditations along with all of the things, like if you were to come to my actual physical location, which is a garden location. You come there, I've saged the place, you get tea, you got incense, you get the whole nine, you have a journal, you do prompts, all of that. I figured out a way to actually bundle all of those things together and send them to people. So it's kind of like a physical and digital product. So if that's something you're interested in, actually meditate, like if you're interested in guided meditation, in an experience type thing where you can sit down and get grounded and not really do anything else other than grab a cup of hot water and a lighter.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Yeah.
But as far as practical tips without you having to do anything additional, I would say the five senses, those are big for me. So maybe make yourself a cup of tea, something that smells good. Maybe that's like an oil, maybe it's a candle, maybe it's an incense. I love incense personally, but something like that. Something physical in your hand. So maybe that's you just touching your knees. Maybe that's you holding on to something, but you want to have that part too. And then the hearing can be, you can just turn on some nice soothing music, but you want to just get to a point where you're not really trying to do anything. You're just sitting and allow yourself that moment of stillness. And even though your mind for most of us, especially Americans, your mind is just going to keep going and going and going. Just allow the thoughts to come, acknowledge them, and let them kind of fall to the wayside. And even if they don't fall, it's okay. The fact that you're even taking the moment out of your day just to sit is already benefiting you. That's what I say.
I like that. I like that. You're. I have so many other questions that just hit me all at once when you were dropping all of those gems.
It's okay.
So my apologies if they're like a little scattered and out of
You're
order.
good. You're
But
good.
you're also a Reiki master. Am I saying that correctly? It's Reiki, right?
It's Reiki. I am a Reiki master as far as certification,
Okay.
but I refer to myself as an energy healer because Reiki is really like it is a practice that is comes from like Eastern, like like Asia, that kind of thing. And obviously, looking at me, I'm a Black woman, and I come from that background as far as religion and things like that. Although I don't practice a religion now, I am a spiritual person. I consider myself, but I am still very Black. So we have in our religion and background, we have the laying of hands. We don't call that Reiki. We call it the laying of hands. So I call it energy healing because that really is, it just speaks specifically to what I'm doing. So what was your question specifically about Reiki and energy healing?
As being the master as well as the energy healer, laying of hands, like with the holiday here and the new year upon us, what are some tips or some ways to help ourselves with some mindfulness to get us through maybe those challenging moments? And maybe it's the heal, maybe it's that, but with what could we with these challenging moments that we could consider the most stressful time of the year, in addition to us being in a pandemic and they've got this lockdown once again.
Yeah.
What are some things that we could do to maybe balance, to find ourselves in those moments?
Besides the tip that I gave about meditation and involving the five senses, from an energy perspective, it's really the biggest thing is protecting your energy, but also making sure your energy is good, right? So there's a few different ways that you can do that. It just really depends on the person. So I have a really good friend of mine. Her name is Lavon. When I'm having moments of trouble, so I'll just borrow this from her. She will ask, okay, I hear you, after I've, explained the things. And then she'll go, what will bring you joy right now? What is it? Is it that you would go skating? Do you need a hula hoop? Play is often the thing that will raise your vibrations, raise your spirits. Old people, they love them. They say, raise your spirits and things like that. Like, what's really going to tickle your fancy? Like, what's going to make you happy right now? Go do that thing. Being in a state of, I'm not going to say depression because that's a really heavy word, but just sadness or funk or frustration or any type of lower vibrational feeling, sadness, any of those things that are just like down here. Pulling yourself up that's play. That's the things that make you happy. So for me, I'll cut on, I collect records. You can't see them, but they're over there. I'm like pointing, but I collect records. And so I will turn on Stevie Wonder if I'm in a bad mood. I'll turn on Al Green if I'm in a bad mood. I just know you have to, it's about knowing yourself, what we talked about earlier. What's going to bring you joy right now? I think that's a really easy thing for people to ask themselves, but you have to be honest enough with yourself to answer the question, right? You could be like, well,
yeah.
And also you have to give yourself permission to take the time to do the thing that's going to bring you joy. That's a big one for us over here because we don't take the time. We want to keep doing all the things instead of just pause and breathing, right?
Yeah, we don't take time for ourselves, and we don't acknowledge our needs and what we need.
Right.
And I have a friend who was also on the show, and she talks about, I think it's like the first 10-15 minutes of the day she dedicates to meditating and to herself.
That's beautiful.
And something as small as that is still such a big task and a big ask. How can you shift that mentality? How do you shift that mind to say, you know what, I need to carve out this time, the beginning of the day. I don't want to talk to anybody until I do this. How do you get someone to get there?
by being conscious about it. And if they, I don't want to be a hard ass about it, but it's the
No,
real.
be a hard ass. Like, but I
It's
feel like something like that, it almost, you need to give like a very real, blunt, brutal answer. Like,
oh yeah, I'm about to give it to you. It's no worries. Because like I said, I have a kids meditation app, but I teach adults too. These are two separate things. So for the adult, you're either going to do it or your body's going to do it for you. And that's in the form of sickness. That's in the form of complete and total fatigue. You figure out how you want to do it. So you can either decide to take the 15 minutes now or 10 minutes, or I don't even have to say what the or is, because so many people are already experiencing the or they have already experienced it. I think that's one thing that is beautiful that has come out of COVID. There's been a lot of, I'm in no way saying that COVID is a great thing, because it's not, but there has been beauty in certain moments. And I think one thing that's been great is that people have had to sit with themselves. I tell people this all the time because they get up off my table crying. I'm referring to energy healing, in case you're just coming into the episode.
In case you just scrolled across and you hear off my table.
Right? What is she doing? But people sometimes they just lay down and they begin to cry. But it's the first moment in a long time that they've taken an hour, because most of my sessions are an hour. Even within that first 5 minutes, you just see tears. I haven't put on masks. You'll see tears just coming down the sides of their faces, because they haven't sat quiet with themselves, and some people years, especially my mothers. That's why I have a postpartum bundle, because they have, like, it's so hard. You're doing all of the things and you don't stop and you don't slow down. And so a lot of them, they're like, dang, you must be really good. That wasn't me. That was you taking a moment for yourself and actually stopping for a second. And then everything is catching up with you. There's a book, I think it's called The Body Keeps the Score. Have you ever heard of that?
No, the body.
It's all about the trauma. It's about the trauma that our body goes through from birth to the day that we die, right? How we suppress feelings and things like that, but our body still remembers. So while you think you're going and you're winning and you're still moving and you're doing all this stuff and you're not taking your 10, 15 minutes or whatever it is that you need for yourself to get quiet, the moment you actually sit still, whether that be in sickness or that be on an energy healing table or that be, while you're stuck somewhere with no Wi-Fi, whatever it is, all of those emotions are going to come right up. So my advice is just to try now, even if it in smaller increments at first. That's it. If you can't do that, then journal. That's also a good option. Some people just really don't like meditation, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I try to meditate, and I feel like, and maybe I needed like a guide for meditation, but it's how should one approach trying to even meditate? I feel like we hear so much about meditation, and people just center themselves like it's nothing, but it has so many, it reduces so many things and improves so many things. But how does one even approach the process as an adult to try meditation?
Well, it kind of comes back to what I was saying about the senses thing. But if you didn't want to go through all of that and do all that jazz, you want to make it super, super simple, right? We can meditate right now. You ready?
Let's do it.
I'll put you on the spot. Okay. All right.
Let's do it. I'm all about it. Okay. Let's do it.
As we've been drinking our wine. You ready?
I know, right? I already closed my eyes. I was like, listen, I'm gonna
show you how simple it is. We're really just gonna do 2 minutes. Okay. All right.
All right. That's all good.
So go ahead and align your posture. So like you're sitting up in a straight way. Make sure you're comfortable. All right, here we go. Mm-hmm. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. And let it out of your mouth. Take another deep breath in through your nose. And let it out. Allow yourself to relax. Let your shoulders drop. Feel your jaws relax. Take another breath. Now gently wiggle your fingers. Maybe move your shoulders a bit. Move your neck. And allow yourself to very gently come back to this moment. It's not a race, but whenever you're ready, gently flutter your eyes. And welcome back.
Wow. I feel like a brand new
That was
person.
2 minutes.
Wow.
That was 2 minutes.
That was 2
We
minutes.
went nowhere.
Wow.
I didn't even take you anywhere.
And that was just 2 minutes of my
I started
time
at
that it
5
just, yeah. And I already feel relaxed in those 2 minutes. Wow.
and we went
Listen,
nowhere.
y'all, if y'all are a little hesitant about meditation, y'all see what 2 minutes just did, because we're not editing that part. Y'all gonna sit. If y'all made it to this point, y'all sat through 2 minutes of mindful meditation, some guided meditation. That was awesome.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to be our go-to guru mindful segment right there. That was awesome. That was, wow, I feel so relaxed. I didn't even have to go to like get a massage somewhere. Like that was, but but that goes to show, if we just, like you say, pour into ourselves, whether you pour into the kids or you pour into yourselves, it will grow, it will do better, it will evolve, it will do all of these incredible
It's so
things.
much easier too.
Yeah.
So much easier later. The more you do. I think one of the best benefits about meditation is that within, I think it's like 2 or 3 days or something like that. It's a very short amount of time. Your attention span increases. You have less depression, less anxiety. This is like statistically shown. This is for everybody across the board, not just kids, adults too. And so it's always like, I feel like, so you don't even want to just try. But honestly, I've never had anybody tell me, you know what, no, I don't want to do it. Usually they're like, okay. I think,
let's do
honestly,
it.
I'm just a persuasive person. People are like, all right, sure. So.
I'm with it. Listen, I'm all about peace, love, and happiness, and boundaries and mindfulness and everything that you were talking about. How can folks reach you and get in contact with you if they would like to? Because you also do consultations, or like if folks want to.
I had a moment where I thought that's what I was going to do, but in between running the Healing Garden and trying to get the Sunshine Project up and running, I don't know where I would fit in the time, but I do have slots available through like my calendar linking session, that if somebody really wanted to talk to me about something like that, I would totally be open so long as time permits. So I guess you could put my my calendar.
I love it. It's gonna be in the show notes, y'all. It's gonna be in the show notes.
All I ask is that you drop a cash app or something, because
yes.
oh wait, they can't see me.
No, they gonna see it because it's also gonna be on YouTube. So if y'all are listening to this, go to YouTube. The YouTube link is gonna be in the show notes as well. If you need some direction, it's gonna be in the show notes. Listen, if you're listening to this and you thought it was amazing, wait till you see the video. Okay, this has been incredible. This has been incredible, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking a chance, because you don't know me from a can of paint. We met on Clubhouse to network, and I was like, I fucking love your app. So excuse my French, but I love your app. I think this is incredible, especially for folks that are, either A, looking for healing, or B, looking to help their child, in the meditation, the mindful, meditation and all of that good stuff. I think it's so important for kids to know meditation. I wish that I knew meditation as a child because I may have been able to handle things very differently. And it's like you go through life and you go through a journey. I believe it or not, I had an anger management problem. I had an anger problem. And I was in sports and my mom put me in sports to keep me out of trouble and all that good stuff. And it was great because it was an outlet, but I feel like the mindfulness, the meditation would have been a nice balance
Right.
to counter the
A little bit
active
less
sports.
rigorous. Yeah.
Yeah, to
Something
like
that
really
can
think
guide
about it.
you, because the one is a distraction, the other one is a
Mhm.
different, because
Yeah.
it makes you actually connect to yourself in a certain way. But I
Yeah.
like sports though. I definitely.
I love sports too, and when I'm feeling frustrated, I hit up my boxing trainer and I'm like, "Let's do this work. Like, let's get on these pads." But
Got a
you know,
boxing
it
shirt.
yeah, and I
Gosh.
feel like it's like different for different folks, but at the end of the day, it's still the mind that's never going to go anywhere.
Mhm.
You're still trapped with these same thoughts even though it was a distraction to go work out.
Mhm.
You're not acknowledging the internal work that needs to be done,
Yeah.
you know? Before we get out of here, we normally end on a words of wisdom, and I've been talking a lot because I am in complete love of your app.
Aw.
Honestly, I wish that
Thank
I
you for
had that
asking.
app when I was a kid. And
Mhm.
there's not too many companies that I'm like, "Damn, I wish that was around when I was a kid." But I really
Mhm.
wish there was an app the younger me to
Mhm.
sit and meditate and be with myself. I
Mhm.
think there were these all of these different outlets for me as a kid, but it wasn't not outlets, they were like you said distractions.
Mhm.
It was a distraction and a release, so it felt like it was being handled because it was released, but it wasn't
And
being
then it just came up later.
acknowledged.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you've got like a lot of hurt people walking around this world.
Unfortunately.
You know, if we had your app, there'd be so many less people walking around hurt and having so many internal struggles and battles of everything,
Yeah.
you know? That's I just want to take a moment and just be like, thank you. Thank you for creating this app and,
Thank you for having me here.
for us to help this next generation at least, of kids
Mhm.
trying to meditate and be
Will be
mindful.
majority minority.
Yes, of
Yes.
course. Of course. Because like you said, I'm a minority will be the majority.
Mhm.
And that is so true.
Mhm.
And we're not being I don't want to say catered to, but we're not being acknowledged when these products are being created. And I think that's such a beautiful thing that you've created this app with us in mind. Because as a young black girl trying to find herself in this world growing up, I 100% wish I had your meditation app. 100%.
Thank you. That means a
But
lot.
before we get out of here, before I go on my
Drink
tirade
that
of
wine.
my monologue with the wine, I could just sit here and just talk meditation and mindfulness all day just because it's something that's not discussed with especially with black mental health.
Mhm.
It's all connected. It's
Mhm.
completely all connected.
Yeah.
What would be a words of wisdom that you can leave us with when we're feeling especially challenged during the holidays? Maybe
Mhm.
our families are frustrating us, our friends, anything and everything. What is something that you can give to us, another little gem, because you've been dropping gems all episode?
I say the same thing every time someone asks me this.
Okay,
Same exact thing. You wanna know what it is?
what's that?
Relax. It ain't that deep.
Boom.
I tell everybody, I tell everybody the same thing. It's never that deep. It just isn't.
Wow. Mic drop and my brain imploded. That was amazing. But that's true. And we don't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that deep.
It really ain't most of the time.
Most of the time, it's not that deep. And even if it feels that deep,
It's only
because I
for
feel like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's only temporary. It's only for the moment.
Mhm.
I feel like, I always like to relate it to Curb Your Enthusiasm. Have you ever seen that show? Watched that show?
I know of it. I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm
It's
terrible.
all good. It's it's an old show, but I
Mhm.
always felt like, oh, but it's big in this moment. It's big right now, so it must be big. But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
Most people can't even remember what they wore the day before yesterday.
I could not tell you what I wore to bed. I could not tell you what I wore yesterday. Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
What did you eat 2 days ago? You don't know. That's something that sustains you, but you worried
Yeah.
about something somebody said to you 2 weeks ago. It's not that deep. It's not.
This is incredible.
It keeps you young and cute looking, like, just to have a little less stress and less worry. You gotta keep cute.
Mm-hmm. This is incredible. Thank you
You're
so
incredible.
much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I
I've really
appreciate it.
enjoyed
This has been awesome. I'm definitely gonna hit you up. So please don't block me. I'm just definitely gonna hit you up and just be like, I need you on a segment. Like, I need you on a
Yes,
segment because this is
please,
you
I'd love
dropping
it.
so many gems. This has been phenomenal.
Well, great. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And y'all check out the show notes. Check out and sign up to be a beta tester. All of the above. Hit her up. If you need some words of wisdom in your life, hit her up. She will reassure you. Just relax. This is awesome. I'm sorry. I'm speechless because this has just been freaking amazing. I
I've
appreciate
had
it.
a really good time. I feel like I'm at the bar with a friend and we're just talking.
Yeah.
I've been
Having
trying to
girl
sip slow.
talk. Right? Having girl time. Oh man. Thank you so much, Andrea. Cheers to you. What's left in my glass? We don't know what's left in her cup.
Just clinking.
Cling. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Real life and no TV. Millionaires stay greedy. No love and there's no grub. We got the homeless saying, y'all better come my way. Y'all better come my way. Okay, and say, y'all better come my way. I'ma make a statement day by day. Y'all better come my way. Y'all better come my way. Okay, and say, y'all better come my way. I'ma make a statement day by day. Peace out, up.